Hey guys, my name is Simpzy. How you all doing? Welcome back to some more Total War Rome 2. Here today on the channel. We're back on our DEI Seleucid campaign. This is episode 5. Here today, we've got a new political event. Seleucus II has come of age, a new rival. Now, he's got some historical context, which you're most welcome to pause and have a quick read. He's an important character, so we shall adopt him to our royal line, as they do have bonuses and whatnot. So Antiochus I, even though he has some legitimate children, Antiochus II, his son, is now heir, and he has some grandchildren as well. So Seleucus II will be adopted into our family line. So in today's episode, we're going to be opening up some new war fronts against Nabatea and pushing over into Thrace. So, if you like the sound of that, feel free to leave the video a like, subscribe if you're new around here with notifications on, leave it on the comments, feedback and suggestions for the series, and where you'd like me to expand and conquer. Feel free to leave a dislike if you're not enjoying it, of course. In the last episode, we had the final battle for Egypt. The Egyptians gave us a hell of a run for our money this series, but Antiochus I, down in the south, was managed to prevail, while Antiochus II is further pushing in the north. So we've managed to do what Alexander couldn't do and secure our family line. Antiochus II is on the border here in Nicomedia, because we also got rid of the Galatians and Pergamon as well. We're still continuing to forge and rebuild Alexander's legacy, but we're going to be pushing against some barbarians here today. We're going to be pushing into Thrace over the Bosphorus. The Adrician Kingdom have Edessa, so they're not overly too strong. The Tribali and a couple of other rebels have taken some decent territory. So I'm actually going to join Sparta's war. We did have alliances with them a while ago. We might be able to get a military, we had a defensive one with them, but we broke it due to them getting war decked a bit. Let's go with an non-aggression pact. I will join your war against them. I want a military. They give me a defensive though. How about for a defensive? Yeah, we'll accept that. What about military now? No, they're just not interested in that. No matter. We'll cross the Bosphorus and take Anthea. I think that's how you say it. Obviously, Constantinople isn't a village at this, a city at this point. It's probably no more than a fishing village, I would imagine. But for the first time in a couple of hundred decades, not 100 decades, a couple of decades, I'd say Hellenic forces, loyal and modelling after Alexander, have crossed over into Thrace. So there still are some historical Alexandria regions that I could take. Armenia, Parthia, Persia, Nabatea. Let me know in the comments if I should push for that, or should I continue on my initiative going into Greece, because no one's really been the main dog on top, you know what I mean? So Macedon, Athens nor Sparta are the strongest. Alright, let's push for Poltavia. Yeah, you'd think that's like Philippopolis, wouldn't you? In this. Right. Antiochus is now pushing up, along with his son and heir, Seleucus II. So we've managed to take out these barbarians in quite quick succession. They never really gave us much of a fight. The Tribali are next on the hit list, along with the Adrician Kingdom. But the Macedonians... Oh, now they're starting to expand north. I wonder why that is. Down in Arabia now, I'm going to open up another front. So we've got Antiochus here. After his successful wars in Egypt, let's push against Nabatea. Now, they've got an army here outside Petra, near Jerusalem, and we're going to try and intercept it. We have 2 stacks and a half, so we'll open up a front against Nabatea. We've all but finished the war in Thrace there. So maybe we'll open another one up against the Tribali as well. That could be a potential option. Characters wise, my line is secure, as you can see. So that's what we needed for this. We need a clear, distinct dynasty. Diplomacy wise, this is what we currently occupy and have military allies with. Rome has expanded quite well into North Africa, taking Carthage, and Carthage actually borders us in North Africa, getting pushed out as well. We have a defensive alliance with Sparta and Macedon, but Sparta, funnily enough, seems to be at war with Nabatea for some reason. Looks like we're going to get some better relations with them. Let's join their war against Nabatea and secure the Arabian Peninsula for the Seleucids. Oh, really? They're not interested? Well, now they want to do it. Okay. Right, let's deal with this army in the open field. 5 units of camels and some other skirmishes as well. We've hit our Hellenic reforms. I think we've got another one still to come. Obviously the Romans have their Marian reforms and a couple of others. Plebeian, I think. And I think the Hellenic factions do as well. We are playing on the latest update of DEI. As of... what month is this? June. So, let's fight this one. We haven't had a battle against Nabatea for this series. Let's do a quick save and a hard save, and we'll finish him off. He's a 5-star commander, so he's not too bad. Antiochus I is a 6, and he conquered the Egyptians, destroying tens of thousands of them. So we've got a Battle of Jerusalem here, 259 BC. We'll start the deployment. Even though we've pushed them towards the coast there, I'm surprised how hilly this terrain is. Alright, let's make a strong long front line with my hoplites and medium spears. Before we had Greek infantry, they were barely equipped with adequate sandals, armor and swords. Now with our reformed swordsmen, they're definitely more armored and better quality, but they're still not amazing at the end of the day. So this army only has 2 units of cavalry, mostly made up with Seleucid hoplites, which I have preferred and opted for in this series. We've been forced to do a lot more sieges than open field battles. That's why I've chosen to go with the hoplites. I just think they're better overall. Antiochus is going to be leading this one. The conqueror of Egypt. Antiochus Egyptiosus or something. I don't know. Something cool that'll roll off the tongue. There's some camels there in front of us we should take out. His son is the conqueror of Asia Minor. Hopefully, Seleucid II, once he rises to the throne, can be the conqueror of Greece and the Roman world. Let's see how our reinforcements come in. Slowly but surely, the Seleucid reinforcements are coming. Man, they've got some really cool and unique units of Seleucids. I really do like the Hellenic army build. I definitely prefer Roman to Hellenic factions, personally, in Rome 2. Particular DEI, Divide et Impera. But guys, unfortunately this series will end in the not too soon future, so let me know what you'd like me to replace it with. Doesn't necessarily have to be Rome 2 or Total War. This can be any strategy game that I have Let's Played or you think I'd be interested in on the channel. We'll wait now for our reinforcements to rally up, and then we'll unite and push together. Man, oh man, they must be hanging out right at the back of this. I've been moving so far to get up here, traversing the incredibly harsh topography of this battlefield. They've taken a lonely hill and they're running wild. Why are the cavalry and camels stirred up a frenzy. Alright, we've united with my reinforcements, but just trying to traverse this terrain is so difficult. We're going to get there, but far out, mate. Alright, you can pull further up here. But I'd like to do more Rome 2 on the channel. I enjoy it a lot, and so do you guys, so I'm tempted to do a Roman campaign. It's been 5 years since I've done a DEI Roman campaign. From the starting position, that is. 7 years since the game came out, that might be cool. Rome. 5 to 7 years on, that might be cool. But the thing is with Rome, it's such a cool faction because the replayability of it is endless. Because they're the best faction, but every single time something different happens, you either get dragged in any particular direction, which is really fun and enjoyable. Sometimes you like to focus on Gaul, which is a lot easier, carving out and fighting barbarians, but sometimes you get drawn eastward, pushing into Carthage, doing the Punic Wars, and in the east is a lot more fruitful and better for the army. But then the barbarians unite and get strong, so maybe we can do something like that. Or maybe we can play as Parthia or the Persians or something. Alright, we seem to be trading and fighting with Nabatea quite well here. Even though we outnumber them tremendously, their skirmisher and horseman harassment seems to be smacking me a bit here. Just running around back and forth. You couldn't have picked a more horrendous battlefield for this. Like, they seem to be fine traversing it, but me and my infantry, up and down, are having a really hard time. Let's try and pick a target and focus and try and get rid of some of those guys out. We are going to be performing a lot better auto-resolve wise in sieges and in battles with our additional swordsman buff, which really is quite negative earlier in the campaign. But once we secure the Arabian Peninsula for the Seleucids, we'll get this really crucial spice port and resources. Also, we get the caravan traders and whatnot. Camels are delicious, apparently. And so is their milk, from what I've heard. Alright, so we seem to be engaging them on the front line quite well. The thing is with camels as well, they are very impactful when they charge, and they're quite good in actually fighting and staying in combat. So this is like ideal. Hilly, they need to be locked into combat, they can charge and quickly move where they need to be. We're fighting tooth and nail against the Nabateans here. We did have a war against them, must have been episode 1 or 2, but no bloodshed happened. Like, we might have destroyed one stack. They war-decked us, but we didn't really focus on them. Earlier on in the campaign, we were just getting smacked left, right, and centre, just getting caught into wars they didn't want to be in. Now we're making some progress to become Alexander's favourite general and truly live up to his legacy. They seem to be still holding out quite well here. I'm impressed. The men of the peninsula are holding. Just because of the terrain. Maybe my guys are a little bit knackered as well. Try and run down as many of them as you can. Push further up and around here. Alright, they're now good. We've wiped this left flank. But even though I gave the order to charge up and over the hill and rotate and flank them, they are still struggling. Our guys are kind of wavering there. Maybe it's a little bit of friendly fire. Maybe also to theirs. Let's drop a rally and an inspire, just to give our men that additional boost and buff. Yeah, they seem to be trading on that front line. And the men we rout seem to be coming back. Yeah, maybe I sort of underappreciated the quality of their resolve, because they've got some heavy melees in there doing alright. They're really taking us to task. We gotta take them to the town. Now we're finally routing and breaking them and dispersing them in that front line there. Like, look how quick, like, our infantry has no chance trying to run down those camels skirmishing. No chance. And if they get caught flat-footed or on an angle, they're gonna break. Probably should auto-resolve this one out, because the terrain was just so treacherous. I'm actually kind of blown away and surprised. You'd think as you closely get to Jerusalem, the fields would be a lot more flatter, especially when we're pushing into the desert as well. Nabatea is a huge city. Oh, it's not Nabatea. What is it? Petra or whatever. Yeah, Petra, I think it is. Has a huge city they're trying to hold out, but they've done well this campaign. Hey, victories continue, and a decisive one. Yeah, the Nabateans have done well. They've actually united the peninsula against a fair few rivals. So we deployed 9.5k, we lost 1.4. They deployed 3.3 and lost 3.1. They did take a fair few with us. Cavalry did well. Archers did mediocre. Swordsmen did well trying to traverse stuff. But we have managed to defeat the full stack that was lingering on our border. We didn't lose any of our own full units, which is good. And we'll be able to pivot and rotate around to take Petra, their capital there. Yeah, it does seem to be a larger city than that of Jerusalem. Now, who can go and start the siege? It might have to be Antiochus. Even that's going to be easier said than done, because there's a full stack in there. And a large garrison. To be honest, it is their capital. Still can't with a secondary force. How about a third? Because we can't give chase to the men that fled westward. Really? We might have to siege this one out a tad. Alright, up in the north, we've started a war against the Tribali, and we should be able to finish them off at Isos. So, Antiochus II, son and heir, and my grandson Seleucid II is opening up the front. If we can get a strong position in Thrace, I am tempted to betray Macedon. I'm tempted to take Macedon for myself. Alright. So it's winter now in the cold north. Let's finish off the last of the Tribali and a decisive victory. My Imperium's now gone up, and Thrace, apart from Edessa, is nearly under our control. But we've managed to stretch the Seleucid Empire to the far barbarian north of the Danube to Egypt. Alright, we're still sieging out the Nabateans in Petra. Hopefully this time around we can finish them off. We've sieged them out. We've got the siege equipment now to adequately take it. A close victory, but Antiochus was successful. Loot and occupying the settlement gives us 13k. I'm going to loot and occupy it. We can bring some of the resources and funnel them into Egypt, which has been economically disadvantaged for quite some time in the campaign. Nabatea want peace. I'm really tempted to accept that, because it's actually taken us a fair chunk of our military to take their capital there. No, looks like we couldn't come to an accord. So we're still at war with Nabatea. Pushing towards HEIRS now. But you got to give it to them. They are fighting tooth and nail. The freedom fighters for Nabatea. We've taken 2 territories now. We smacked one of their forces. One of their stacks. The second one in the capital. But, yeah. I hate fighting in the desert, though. Ah, a noble death. Oh no, Antiochus, the first of his name, has been laid to rest. All hail Antiochus in the chat and comments. RIP. Antiochus II has ascended to the Seleucid throne. Luckily his line is secure. His daughter can be married off for another claimant if we don't get any more notable or new characters. Apollonia, 17, and Seleucus II is of age. Yeah, I've opted to, because like in this patch of DEI you get these political leaders. I've opted to adopt them into my family tree, but we've also got replacements as well, because it's a really good way to get these notable, realistic characters in. I kind of like the mechanic. It's cool. You don't have to rely on the RNG of family members, because you want to play with the likes of Caesar and Mark Antony and some of these cool historical Seleucid kings. So now, under the reign of Antiochus II, we're still going to continue on with his father's ambition to reforge Alexander's empire to some of its historical borders. We'll continue the war against Nabatea, even though trying to traverse the harsh desert is going to cost many lives. I would have actually allowed them to become my puppet for peace, but they don't seem to be interested, to be honest. Always taking the territory, not relying on puppets and allies is always the better play. But we've taken the entire region of Nabatea here now, on the central to western coast. Okay, we're currently mobilizing to go to war with the Thracians, particularly the Adrician kingdom here, with Seleucus II and Antiochus II. This is what we currently occupy. The Seleucids, sorry, not the Seleucids, the Adricians don't have any allies. So let's push and finish them off. It looks like an army's been dragged westward. That's good for me, because we're going to be able to take their homeland. Now, I forgot to talk about my puppets in this series. They've done not much. Sometimes, depending, especially on this difficulty, your puppets rebel and draw you into wars and stuff. But they've been quite, I think docile is the word that comes to mind. They've been incredibly quiet in the Far East. They've been picking apart enemies where they can. Bactria hasn't risen and stirred the pot, being the dominant force, nor has the Indian faction. So my puppets of Parthia, I think it's like a Babylon, some like Mesopotamian sort of factions over there, none of them have done real much. I've actually kind of forgot I've had them. They haven't caused me too much money. I've obviously been checking and getting that cash money every time, but the Adricians are whittling away here now. Alright, so it looks like, I don't know what the Adrician kingdom was doing. After we took their capital, their armies have whittled away massively into the mountains here. And look at this, it's going to be a clean-cut order resolve. They never pushed and attacked us, and now their armies have rotted away. Now, Antiochus and his son has taken the entire region of Thrace and destroyed the Adrician kingdom. Alright, we're pushing towards HEIRS now. on the eastern coast. We managed to peace out for a time with Nabatea. We have been drawn into another war, but that's fine. We made the decision to peace out with them for a couple of turns so we could rotate all the way around near Mesopotamia. My brother-in-law is now taking Hagara, so he should be able to push into that and build up some siege equipment and deal a coastal blow against Nabatea. But they mustn't have many more territory now. Maybe 1 or 2? Yeah. I've got another 2 full stacks pushing centrally in, but you have to follow the roads in Rome too to eventually get there. But once we've quelled Nabatea, we can focus the full eastern force into Macedon or a Spartan or an Athenian war, or they can be freed up in Arabia and maybe go towards Armenia or maybe the Parthians or Persians, let me know. Unfortunately, guys, it is time to end the video here. Thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know in the comment section down below your feedback for the series, and if you'd like to see more, that's the best way to ensure more content. Leave a dislike if you're not enjoying the series. Check out my social media links if you want to stay connected with me. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all in the description below. Patreon and merchandise link in the description below, along with the Steam group. Come and join the community on Steam. And on that note, unfortunately, I have to end the video here. Thank you very much for watching once again. Make sure to take care of yourselves. Go out and have a fantastic rest of your day. My name has been Simpzy. Goodbye.